Hey guys. Okay, this is part 2 of our sort of beginning genealogy, I guess, series that we're doing. I started to tell you in the first video what genealogy is and isn't. And I didn't finish explaining that. Yeah. Finish telling you what it is and isn't. It's fun. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's frustrating. And what else? It is a learning experience, not just about your family, but you're learning about history at the same time. For example, I didn't know what Merrill's Marauders were. I had never heard of them. They were an elite group of soldiers in World War II. I didn't know that till I found out my great uncle was one of them. When I found his grave, and then I found a picture of him. Unfortunately, it was after my mother passed away, so she didn't get to see the picture of her uncle. I can just imagine the smile on her face. You know? She would have been so happy. And she'd be equally happy that I have it printed and framed. Because she remembered him, you know, and he died a long time ago. He died before I was born. But you know, for her to see Uncle Junior, as he was called Junior, would have been amazing. Unfortunately, like I said, the picture didn't get placed on his final grave until after she passed away. But I can picture her smile. You know, that, and smile at the same time, you know. She would have been so excited. She would have been, print that, you know. And amazing. Just amazing. I've used that word a lot today. So you'll have moments like that. You'll have moments when you want to cry because you've read a tragedy in the newspaper or in someone else's tree that you have. whether it's one of your cousins died in the Hartford Circus fire. Yep, got that. One of your ancestors' babies fell in a boiling hot bucket of cleaning water and burned to death. Not even drowned, burned to death. Have that, so you're going to find stuff like that. Be prepared, especially if you start digging in old newspapers. In this case, that was found in a Cox tree that was so well done by Jan, who has since passed away. You might find precious things, like the pictures of my third great-grandparents that were saved by my cousin Jean, who passed away not too long ago. Maybe a year or two ago. I'm trying to think if my mother was still alive when she passed away. She might have been, so it might be more than that. It might be more like 5. Anyway, she saved those pictures. They were button pins. And for some weird reason, she knew who they were when they were throwing out stuff at my great aunt Angelina's house when she passed away. And she saved them. And I am forever grateful that she did. That's actually sitting in my kitchen. I'm so grateful that she saved them, that she made copies and made sure all the cousins got copies of them. And thanks to her father, I was able to dig out the gravestone in our family cemetery. Well, I call it our family cemetery. Most of the people there are related. We have a huge family plot. And you're going to make exciting finds, like I said, like the picture of Uncle Junior, or the fun articles about my great-great-grandfather. And those articles can give hints, because those were interviews directly with him. In one of the cases in particular, when he was 88 years old. He lived to be quite old. And I believe he lived to be in his 90s. He talked about his great-grandmother that lived to be like 105, which is insane. But cool insane. Sorry. There we go. And so you're gonna find good stuff, hard stuff, bad stuff, Genealogy shouldn't just be names and dates. You should be finding stories. You should be finding... My hair is twisted up. Sorry. You should be finding stories, pictures, dates, records, and not just birth, death, and marriage. You want to find immigration, which can tell you a lot. Naturalization, and yes, they're two different things. Things like that are going to tell you a lot. What else? I think genealogy is fun work, satisfying work. It may be spending hours pouring through census records to find that one record. If your family is like my father's family, and they lived in a small village for a really long time, you could literally take the census for that small village in that bigger town and just pour through that village's census records and see how many you could find of your family members. I've done it with Manchog. I've shown you Manchog. Manchog is tiny. Population 200. It's in the town of Sutton, but it's its own village. And so it's a mill village. That's why we have these villages in our towns here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. For those of you not familiar, we have the main town, and then we have mill villages within them where the mills are located, and they're villages with its own name, its own post office, but still part of the town. They go to school in the town and all that. Actually, Manchog had its own little kids' school. Then they went to high school in Sutton. Not when I was there. When my father was there. And later. All the way up through the 70s, I believe. Had I started school in Manchog, I think I would have started... Had I started school in Manchog, Sutton, I would have started in Manchog. At Manchog School. Before they moved everybody to the new elementary school on the same campus with the high school in Sutton. Because I started in the late 70s, I would have started there. So, boy, would Sutton have been a different animal. Anyway. Yeah, you're going to find, like I said, it is a journey that takes a lifetime. My mother worked on it. She worked on it for years before I even got involved. She would work on it at night after everybody went to bed. And eventually, I started working on it with her. And you're going to meet people if you choose. As I mentioned the last time, with that reunion that we had. I'm still friends with many of those people on Facebook, and many of those people did Ancestry DNA, and we all match. But it didn't take DNA for us to know we were all cousins. We all descended from my great-great-grandmother and all her brothers and sisters. So one came all the way from Pennsylvania to meet us. It comes from my great-great-grandmother's sister. And we always exchanged Christmas cards and hi, Paula. We had a Rolodex back in the day. Of course, she was way at the back of it because her last name began with a Y. And yeah, it was cool. I believe she's one of the ones that came up for that. And my mother found these people. Just writing on forums and stuff. Because back in the day, Ancestry.com had forums, and the forums were always free, even after they started charging for their service. I think they still are, but nobody uses them anymore. There are other genealogy forums. I'm in an Irish to America forum, and something like that. And my name is Irish-Eyed Girl. In fact, that's my name on Family Search as well. Look me up. You'll also learn the migration patterns of your family, where they came from, where they went. I have family clear across the country. Canada, Ireland, England, Scotland, all over the place. Let's see. You have so yeah, it's very interesting. You can learn so much, like I said, about wars, about the history of places, name changes of places, all sorts of things. Just delving into your family history. Because your family history is world history. It's U.S. history. I've got Civil War, Revolutionary War, Excuse me. So, I highly recommend it. And again, if you have any questions, email me. My email is in the description. Or if you're so inclined, send a letter. My post office box is also in the description. I would be glad to help you get started. I've been doing this for 27 years, 28 years. I started in 1998. So 28 years. That's crazy. But it's true. I've helped a lot of people do research. Which is, I guess, how I got my title at the Historical Society, isn't it? Which is head of research and development. So thank you so much. God bless you. I certainly hope this helps. And to start with, Family Search. You don't need a ton of money. Family Search is free. Sign up for free. Start a tree. You would be amazed the world that opens up. Or just look up Grandpa. See what you can find. They have scanned in records that you'll be able to click on and see a picture. If there's a picture of the record, if the record is scanned in, you're going to see a camera icon next to the record. It's very simple. A picture of a camera. So, try it out. Let me know what you think. Like I said, if I can be of help, I will. And no, I would not charge you. I just enjoy doing it. So, thank you so much for being here. God bless you, and I will see you tomorrow. Please hype and subscribe. That would mean the world. Because it would let me keep doing this, and I love doing this, and I want to reach more people. Bye, guys. God bless you.